Happy finally Friday. It's do or die time for the Seattle Mariners Game 5 of the American League Division Series tonight at T-Mobile Park between Seattle and Detroit. The Tigers are going with Tarek Skubal, while the Mariners will start George Kirby. First pitch is underway, and that is on Fox. Dodgers are back in the National League Championship Series after walking off against Philadelphia in the bottom of the 11th on an error on the Phillies pitcher. Ouch. Chicago even its series with the Brewers after a 6-0 win at Wrigley Field. Decisive Game 5 will be tomorrow in Milwaukee at 5:08. That'll be on TBS. Washington Huskies will have a national TV audience for football tonight on the Montlake Cut. Washington plays host to Rutgers at 6 o'clock on FS1. Washington State gets back to it after a bye week. They'll be on the road at Ole Miss tomorrow morning at 9:45. That'll be on the SEC network. Central Washington is in Texas to face the University of Texas Permian Basin tomorrow. That'll kick off at 4 o'clock. Eastern Washington has a bye. Well, the Seahawks are trying to bounce back from a last-second loss at home to Tampa Bay last week. They'll be in Florida Sunday, kicking off at 10 a.m. in Jacksonville. That'll be on Fox. Rams face a tall task on the road at Baltimore Sunday at 10 on Fox. Arizona's in Indianapolis to face the upstart Colts at 10, also on Fox. San Francisco kicks off at Tampa Bay, 1:25 in the afternoon. That'll be on CBS. Well, the Seattle Kraken kicked off their 5th season in the NHL with a win last night at Climate Pledge Arena against Anaheim. Vince Dunn started the scoring while Jared McCann finished it in a 3-1 victory. John Forsland had the call on King 5.
Jaden Schwartz, who led this team with 26 goals last year, will button hook his way back. Larson, Dunn, a shot, he scores! Vince Dunn has the first goal of season number 5, and the Kraken are off and running. Attempting to get to it, he's coming off 2 20-goal seasons in a row. Carlson, a shot, great stop by DeCord. Here's Lacombe takes over, he'll move it. Dunn reads the play, kicks it out, but he gives it away to Marchment. In front, they score! Right on the doorstep. It's the young man making his NHL debut tonight, Beckett Snedeker. Opposite number Schwartz. DeCord looking for a freeze, doesn't get it. Zellweger to the outside, no stick, Joey DeCord. Goodis, a shot, fought off by DeCord. Killorn on DeCord again, and they score! It trickles in.
No goal in the play.
No goal is the call on the ice. Troy Terry, flushed out by Brandon Montour. Good job by Montour. Monty on the march now. He shakes free of Terry, goes to the corner. Has Marchment, who scores! Mason Marchment has his first goal as a Seattle Kraken. Set up beautifully by Brandon Montour. The big breaks out of the box. Oleksiak has a man right down Lenny Wilkins' way. Lindgren stopped by Dostal. Goes by Kreider, back out. The Kraken right on it. They move it quickly up the ice. Cross corner dump in Eberle. Beniers in front. They score! That's hockey, baby! Jared McCann right on the spot. 3-1. Seattle. Schwartz with 5 seconds on the clock takes a glance upstairs. That should do it. That is Kraken hockey, baby. That is win number 1 for Lane Lambert. And the Kraken, for the first time in their young history, win an opener on their home ice.
Seattle's back on home ice tomorrow night against the Vegas Golden Knights. That'll be at 7 o'clock on Kong TV. The Wenatchee Wild have a road game and a home game coming up this weekend. Western Hockey League play. They'll be in Spokane to take on the Chiefs tonight at 7:05. They'll return home on Sunday for a 4 o'clock matinee against the Seattle T-Birds. Listen to our friend Austin Drade on the call on 560 KPQ. We'll have South Central Athletic Conference football on NCWLIFE channel tonight. Cashmere celebrating homecoming tonight against Zilla at Bulldog Stadium. Coach Brian Bremer says he's got a beat-up club after falling to Royal last week in overtime, and will face a tough 4-1 Zilla team tonight.
Really good football team. Love their coach. Coach Watson does a really good job. They play really hard. They play a blue-collar brand of football, very similar to us. But they have a young nucleus where their quarterback's a sophomore, running back's a sophomore. Both guys are very, very good players. They have a couple good offensive defensive linemen and a couple of receivers that can go, but a younger nucleus, whereas we are junior, senior heavy. We do have a couple guys that are banged up that probably aren't going to see any action. So we have some younger guys that are going to be able to step up, that are going to get battle tested, which is good. We have a lot of faith in those younger guys. They're going to get some reps, especially in the defensive backfield, that are going to, we're going to start 3 sophomores back there.
I'll be alongside Grant Olson with a call with the pregame starting at 6:30 here on the NCWLIFE channel. Royal remain undefeated with a 50-3 win over Prosser last night. Kaibi is at Connell, while Wapato hosts Wenatchee's Valley Wallet visits College Place tomorrow night. If the air quality holds, Wenatchee will play their first football game at home tonight against West Valley. Coach Taylor Mitchell is confident after his team's showing against Eastmont last week.
Really good running back. I think he was first team All-League last year, so got injured earlier this year. They're big up front, but I think we just got to continue to do what we're doing on both sides of the ball. I think offensively, run the ball, get the ball to our playmakers out on the edge, and then our defense continues to play well also. So I expect it to be a competitive game, but no reason why we can't, beat these guys.
Eastmont, meanwhile, is on the road at winless Eisenhower tonight. In fact, the Cadets have scored just 7 points all season long. Wildcat coach Jay Foster has warned his players about looking past Ike.
This reminds us of a trap game, what everybody talks about a trap game, where you're supposed to take care of business, but you've got a tough opponent, so sometimes you have a tendency to look ahead. I said it's easy, because we all can sit there and say, okay, Alabama looked ahead to Auburn and got upset here, whatever it may be, and so trying to get guys to understand where we are and what this potentially could be. They've got a couple of players that can make some things happen. They haven't been very good. There's no, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but at the same time, they've done a couple of things, and they got a couple of guys who can make some things happen. And so just making the guys aware and showing them that what they can do positively, and that we've got to go out and do what we got to do.
Moses Lake has a non-league game at Post Falls tonight, while Davis visits Sunnyside. CWAC played tonight. Quincy's on the road at Ellensburg, while Ephrata visits Othello. Toppenish hosts East Valley, while Sela's at Grandview. Cascade is home tonight to host Brewster. Liberty Bell visits Omak. Manson hosts Chelan in a battle of the lake. Okanagan had no trouble with Tonasket last night, winning 62-0 tonight. Oroville visits Moses Lake Christian. Pateros plays at Bridgeport. Lake Roosevelt is at Jenkins Chewelah. Aniat hosts Soap Lake. Waterville Mansfield is at home tomorrow at 1 o'clock against LaConner. Well, checking the prep girls soccer scoreboard from Thursday, East Valley shut out Quincy 7-0. Toppenish shed Cascade 3-2. Cashmere doubled up Royal 4-2. Brewster beat Omak 3-2. Pateros popped Bridgeport 5-1. Lake Roosevelt edged Manson 2-1. Saturday's schedule begins at 11 a.m. with Chelan at Manson and Tonasket at Oroville. Ephrata kicks off at East Valley at noon, while Quincy visits Othello. Wenatchee plays at Davis tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock, while Eastmont visits Eisenhower, and Moses Lake plays at Sunnyside. Cashmere was supposed to be home against Wapato, but that game, because of the smoke, has been postponed to next Saturday. Winners on the volleyball courts last night, including Moses Lake, Wenatchee, Eisenhower over Eastmont on a 5-set thriller. Also winning were East Valley, Ellensburg, Cashmere, Omak, Liberty Bell, Tonasket, Manson, Moses Lake Christian, Soap Lake, Pateros, and Aniat. A light schedule tomorrow has Cashmere hosting Wapato at 12:30. Tonasket travels to Liberty Bell at 1. Waterville Mansfield will host Brewster at 4:30. That's Check of Sports News. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a great weekend.